Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game. Derek, I got a super fun, super exciting, and completely unexpected episode for you guys today. Because just a few days ago, a fork of Ares came out that is running Mega LD games. And if that doesn't sound familiar, that is Mega LaserDisc, the Pioneer LaserActive system with the different packs for Sega Genesis and PC Engine. Also had their own custom games that would work with the LaserDisc format in conjunction with that specific pack. And now with a fork of Ares, you can actually emulate these games today. It is not perfect, and I'll explain why in just a moment, but this is absolutely mind-blowingly impressive, and it is for preservation absolutely awesome on the Sega side of things. Before we get too far involved though, do me a huge favor down below, hit like and subscribe and ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined to want to support the channel, I've got a Patreon link down below as well. But Pyramid Patrol, if you can't tell already, is an on-rail shooter, and basically everything you're seeing that isn't a sprite you can shoot or the heads-up display of your ship and score is being run off the LaserDisc image. Back in the day, you'd put a massive LaserDisc in your Pioneer LaserActive, and then you would use the Sega Genesis pack in conjunction to basically have these sprites and graphics on top of the LaserDisc video and audio, so you would get full motion video quality that you could never get out of Sega CD or any other CD-based platform. But of course, these games are extremely rare even back then, because think of how many people bought a Pioneer LaserActive with the packs to be able to play these. But now, as of today, you're going to be able to emulate them, and that is absolutely just one of the coolest things I have seen. Now, if you do see some flickering in the video or any sort of other corruption, that's basically the LaserDisc image. What's going on in the background is people are trying to find more copies of these games to be able to dump them, or how they dump them. It's not really the same as a ROM cartridge. That way, any issues in the video in one copy can be cleaned up with another copy. Just basically think of doing something like recording 100 different videos, each one with glitches, and then trying to piece them back together to remove as many glitches as possible. That's kind of how the preservation on both LaserDisc as well as these LaserDisc based games work. But again, this is just absolutely insane, because I'm pretty sure no one watching today is going to have a LaserActive system along with one of these games. But I'd love to be proven wrong, so leave me a comment down below. And the best part is you get some great video quality and some awesome audio as well. Early soundtrack sample, but I'll be right back with a lot more games.
Twin Command, this is Delta Platoon Leader. The pyramid's at 10 o'clock. We're going in.
This is Twins Command. Affirmative. Be careful.
All units, I have a large, unidentified bogey approaching fast.
I mean, that sounds absolutely awesome, but that's because Mega LD and by extension LaserDisc had better audio and video support than any other distribution format back in the 90s. Sure, everyone had a VHS player, but that was basically the worst version of any sort of home audio or video we could get. And obviously in other areas you had VCD as well. But as we move into the second stage here of Pyramid Patrol, it is a ton of fun, and that's because it was made by Taito, and they made a lot of games in these genres, Night Striker probably being the best, even though that wasn't full motion video based. But I do like how it works in conjunction with the FMV on something like the LaserDisc, as well as the actual artwork in and of itself that you're going to see in the sprites. All these sweeping camera movements really do have a very cinematic feel that you really couldn't get out of other games. Although some of these sprites in here, not quite sure what they are. They kind of look like staple removers to me, so keep your eyes open and leave me a comment down below. And also tell me, have you ever even played one of these games in person? I have. I actually had a LaserActive system a very long time ago, but even I wasn't that into it, so I sold it to buy more arcade boards, and I definitely don't regret that. But the one thing that was always missing was the ability to play some of these Mega LD games, and now that is back, and that's absolutely awesome. But let's move over to the other game I tested, and just so you know, the images for these games range from like 28 gigabytes to 32 gigabytes, and that's just because they're trying to preserve the quality as best they can. So if you actually want to find these things, it's not like downloading a ROM or even a disc image of something like Sega CD. It's absolutely massive from start to finish. But we're going to go into our second soundtrack sample here for Rocket Coaster, 45 seconds, and I'll be right back with some more gameplay. mean, maybe not the best music I've ever heard, but it is still a fun time. And I will say Rocket Coaster, definitely the worst of the two games I'm testing here for the Mega LD emulation in Ares. It's one of those things that is a racing game, and it is fun to see as far as technical showcase is concerned. But if you want to play a fun racing game on Sega Genesis, Sega CD, or otherwise in that area, you definitely have a lot better picks. So not every single Mega LD game was a hit. And before you ask about the LaserDisc games on the PC Engine CD side of things, those do not work yet. I have no idea if they're ever going to work, but I would love to see that as well, because this isn't just a preservation project, even though obviously the preservation on offer here is outstanding. It is just one of those things. It's fun to be able to experience these games because, again, unless you're one of the very few people out there that has a LaserActive with these actual packs and the games in and of themselves, you're just not playing them, because even if you have the pack, even if you have the hardware, you still need to buy the games, because it's not like you can actually burn a disc image to a LaserDisc and play it that way. So you're talking about a metric crap ton of money if you actually want to experience these things on real hardware, and that's why this fork of Ares just absolutely is something special for 2025. And I have seen a GitHub ticket. There is a request to merge this support into mainline Ares as well, so hopefully soon you won't have to have a custom version of the emulator. And if you're wondering where the link is, you're going to have to find that on your own on this one, because the emulator is distributed with some files you're going to need to actually be able to run everything, and that kind of just gets against the rules of the platform here, and I try to play fair. But as we get back into Pyramid Patrol, this is definitely the better of the two games. But what I will do is I will leave a link in the description below to the Mega LD library, basically so you can see all the different diverse titles that release, and trust me, it isn't a massive library, and right now not every single one of them is going to be able to work in this fork of Ares, because again, this is like week 1 stuff right here, but even with that being the case, it is just absolutely impressive. Now if you do watch the screen, anytime there's a flicker or anytime there's going to be any corruption in the video, you might see some lines come in here and there towards the right middle of the screen right now. There they are. That is just basically issues with the LaserDisc and how it is captured to make these images. So hopefully now that emulation does exist, at least in its initial stages for Mega LD, you might see more collectors out there being more motivated to actually take their discs and be able to, what I would probably say, rip them, so that you can kind of patch up some of those video issues, because LaserDisc was definitely susceptible to having issues in the overall disc structure, and some of them even get disc rot at this point in time. Now I'm not a LaserDisc collector, so it's not anything I worry about, but if you are, leave me a comment down below and tell me how many of your LaserDiscs are still working, as I know it is a very big issue in the collector community as far as that disc rot is concerned, because even though LaserDisc basically looks like a digital disc, it is still an analog format, and there can definitely still be issues with it. But as we travel further into Pyramid Patrol, I just love this corridor here. All these Egyptian themes, these spaceships, definitely has a fun vibe going on. Because leave me a comment down below and you tell me what you think of Pyramid Patrol. And that was just really the thing back in the day. LaserDisc existed, they were trying to make games on it, and they did a few. Soundtrack sample 3 time, because the music is quite good, and I'll be right back with just a touch more. I mean, awesome soundtrack in my opinion, but it is Taito, and you always know they deliver exceptional soundtracks for pretty much every single game they make, and this is just an awesome day to be able to talk about something like this. Sure, the Mega LD games on the Pioneer LaserActive are some of the deepest cuts out there, and that probably means that nobody's actually played them before, so that is why emulation is preservation, and that is why it is so important, because these are types of games that would be lost to time. Even if you have an original copy with a LaserActive, that copy may actually end up degrading over time to the point where you actually can't play the thing, because obviously the Sega Genesis portion would actually be able to be run perfectly fine, but if there's issues on that LaserDisc, it's not going to be looking very good on your screen, and that is why projects like this just absolutely keep the gaming dream alive. And it's one of those things, even I owned a LaserActive a long time ago, and it drove me nuts enough where even I kind of got out of it and decided it wasn't for me. But being able to play these games via emulation 100% is for me, and that's why I decided to make a video on this one, even though it is a deep cut. Stuff Stuff like this is what makes me happy, and I love the people out there working on it. Hopefully soon you'll see this merged into mainline areas, but right now it is its own custom fork. But definitely check this one out. It's hyper impressive, super fun, and completely unexpected. We're going to fight this pyramid here. I'm going to die, and I'll see you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bye-bye.